And views of myself, Salilo Makudir. The time is 25 minutes past 9. And coming up on News and Views, we'll be speaking to Soweto born illustrator, writer, and educator Nathi Ngubane, a name that has become quite synonymous when it comes to bold, politically conscious children's literature. Following the success and, well, controversy of his previous book, From the River to the Sea, which sparked intense backlash from some quotas while selling thousands of copies across South Africa. Nathi is now preparing to launch another provocative and powerful title, Malcolm X in Gaza. The new educational coloring book explores the revolutionary leader's little known 1964 visit to Gaza and his solidarity with the people of Palestine through vivid illustrations and storytelling. The book introduces young readers to Malcolm X's pan-African and anti-colonial vision while offering insights into the Palestinian struggle and lived reality. But we ask the question, what's the purpose behind using children's books as a medium for political education? And how does Nathi navigate the backlash while staying true to his artistic mission? He joins us now via a virtual platform to talk about this latest project and what it entails, and most importantly, when and where you can go about getting it. Nathi, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on Salam Media. And yeah, we're back with another project. Tell us a bit more about this one, Malcolm X in Gaza. What is it all about?
Thank you very much, my brother. Good to be back. So, Malcolm X in Gaza, as you stated, is about Malcolm's very little known trip to the Middle East and Africa in the early 1960s. And this year also marks 100 years. Malcolm X is the 100-year anniversary, and what Malcolm X stood for could never be more relevant than it is today, with what is continuing to happen in Gaza. Children being starved. I mean, there was a famous image recently of a child burning in a school. I mean, absolutely horrific. Malcolm X must be rolling in his grave right now. He must be very disappointed in humanity. So the book really is about that trip to the Middle East and Africa and what Malcolm saw, and how this trip changed his life. He met Palestinian poets, he met politicians, and he also visited Khan Yunis, a refugee camp, where he saw how the people of Palestine that have been displaced were living in harsh conditions with no water, no electricity, no running, no clear roads for the people and the children, the way they were living. But at the same time, kids were very happy, and they were being children. They were children.
Mm.
So this is what Malcolm X, what we in this new book really we envisioned. We tried to envision what he might have seen. I know a lot of when I was doing my research through Malcolm X's journey, because Malcolm X was, for those who don't know, probably the most photographed liberation struggle icons of all time. So, there was a lot of photos where I wanted a photograph of him, maybe with kids in Khan Yunis or in other parts of Palestine, and obviously I couldn't find that. So I had to like reimagine
Mm.
what it must have been like for Malcolm X in his journey, and and how Malcolm also went for the Hajj, and how it changed his life forever when he returned back to the United States of America. He became he became more than just a struggle icon for Black Americans. He went global after his trips, and you know it became his solidarity became international. And Malcolm X's words still resonate with many of us today, and they're still relevant with what is happening in today's political climate. And we want to continue to teach kids about important times in history, about our icons. So this book, Malcolm X in Gaza, a coloring book, really continues the legacy of the first book, From the River to the Sea, in teaching about the struggles of Palestinians and the struggles of many countries around the world.
Mm, mm, mm. As I'm, hearing you speak and, trying to connect how you took these very, very strong, very political, very high level themes of, Malcolm X, Pan Africanism, his visit to Gaza, his Hajj. And I'm thinking to myself, how did you go about making sure that it's easier for children to understand and to interact with, because these are very high level kind of discussions and discourse which naturally you wouldn't think children would be a part of in any shape or form.
Well, just like we did for the first book, we consulted with parents, with teachers, with journalists, as well as Palestinian writers as well about Malcolm X, and how we can actually um, make this information, as you said, that could be quite overwhelming and complicated, to
Mm,
be more easily accessible to the young ones. We included a glossary in the book. You will see once it's out, highlighting, what does white supremacy means, what does oppression means, so kids can easily understand these complicated wordings in the book. But at the same time, the language we try to keep it as simple as possible, but also um, for also to maintain the importance of each of the sections in the
mm,
book, from Malcolm being born as Malcolm Little, to him becoming a revolutionary, to him visiting Africa and the Middle East. We wanted this wording to be as simple as possible for the young ones, to continue the tradition of the first book. And also, unfortunately, this time around, we didn't include spaces where kids can draw their own images, but the book is still a coloring book. And this time around, it's not a color by number, it's purely, for a kid to use their imagination and, go creative and color in these images. And yeah, these educational material, as I said, they are very, very important. And we demand to see a free Palestine in our lifetime. And until Palestine is free, none of us are free, as Nelson Mandela said. And educational material about the universal struggles for liberation in many countries will continue to come from us.
mm, No, very, very important. You mentioned that Malcolm X's trip to Gaza in '64 isn't something that many people, well, let alone children, know about. What were some of the key moments or messages from that visit that you felt needed to be captured?
So there was a section that we included where Malcolm X met this Palestinian poet, Harum, and what Harum had to say about the struggles of Palestinians. And Malcolm X actually recorded in his diary, um, from what he heard and what he saw. And I felt like, I know a lot of material about Malcolm X is already available out there. His autobiographies are available, and even material for children on Malcolm X. But this particular um, focus, where in his visit, we didn't have a clear focus on what he experienced. So we wanted to actually capture that and add on to educational material that is rare and that is much needed for the young ones, and also bringing the relevance of what is currently happening today. So yeah, we wanted to explore that and dig deep and do our research and come up with this coloring book.
Mm. Finally, before I let you go, what do you hope, a young reader or even an adult takes away after spending time with Malcolm X in Gaza? That's one. Number two, when and where can people get it? When is it coming out? And what's next for you as an artist? Are you going to be continuing with this theme of Gaza in your work, and trying to make sure that the children understand it, the children interact with it, or you want to be branching off to something different?
So, after kids put this new book down, I want them to see how important it is to be in solidarity with those that are oppressed. I want to go back and like with the first book, we are teaching activism. We want
Mm,
kids to have empathy for those that are struggling. I want kids to know that we have a universal struggle. Uh, when it comes to colonialism and apartheid, and I want kids, really to each and every one of us need to become a Malcolm X after the end of this book. And Palestinians need us. They need our support. The world has completely forgotten. World leaders have been watching this happening for close to 2 years now. This aggression against Palestinians, this intensity and the starvation, it's just completely heart wrenching and horrific. So I want kids to really become activists and speak about Palestine. And so currently, the book is available for pre order in the United States of America. We wanted to launch there first, and in South Africa, we will have our official launch in July with Book Circle Capital in Melville. But for those who want to stay updated on the book, please follow Social Bandit Media on Instagram for more updates. But yeah, the States, it should launch at least mid June, late June, and then South Africa in July. And I guess my next project, or to be honest, I haven't really thought about it yet. I want to, take this new book to as many people as possible and educate kids and teach them about how I went about creating it. And, going forward, um, you know, the struggle of our people continues. Aluta
mm.
continue and continue. So more material from me as an artist and author and illustrator. I think it's my responsibility to continue with this important work with creating learning material that is much needed during this difficult and unforgiving planet that we are currently living in.
Well, there you go. That was Nathi Ngubane. Thank you so much for joining us. Really, really appreciate your time. And yeah, for all the listeners, please look out for Social Bandit on social media pages. And yeah, looking forward to seeing the book. I've seen From the River to the Sea, and it's a really brilliant book. And judging from its success and how wonderful it was curated, I'm sure this one is going to be a success too. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much, my brother. I couldn't wait for you and everyone else to get a hold of the new book.
Oh, there you go. That is Nathi Ngubane, illustrator and writer, telling us about Malcolm X in Gaza, a children's book. I think that will spark powerful conversations about justice, history, and most importantly, resistance. I think From the River to the Sea has already set precedent for that. And as Malcolm X once said, you can't separate peace from freedom. And I think through his bold visuals and powerful storytelling, this book invites young minds into a deeper understanding of Palestine and what global solidarity actually means. So, yeah, really, really excited for it. And yeah, if you've interacted with any of Nathi's work, you can interact with us. What do you think? Do you think this is, a start of something powerful? Trying to integrate kids as young as they are, about concepts such as justice, such as oppression, such as unity and equality, and make them conscious about the struggle of the people of Palestine, the struggle of the people of Africa, and how important is it, to stand in solidarity with those who are, under oppression and unimaginable oppression, which is the case with the people of Palestine. We're going to take a quick break. You can interact with us on our various social media pages, such as Salam Media, or you can interact with us on our social, on our WhatsApp. Our line there is 0617660355. Our studio line 0116800355. We want to engage with you, we want to talk to you, we want to hear what you have to say and what suggestions that you might have for any story that you might want us to cover on the show. We're going to take a short break for now. News and views will continue after this.